before we move on with our program, here's to remind you that you can ask your questions through the QR code that is in the brochure you were sent in the beginning. The guest speakers who will take part in the final panel answer your questions live. Those who are not will be emailed your questions. And here's another reminder. Simultaneous interpreting is being provided from Portuguese into English. And you can get the radio right in the front of the building. All the sessions will be delivered in Portuguese. And our next session will be delivered by André Luiz Tesselinodari, the founding partner of NBR Tecnologia and advisor at Abramec. His session is titled Extending Animal Traceability to Leather from NBR 15006, a proposal. Welcome, André. Good afternoon. Well, I'm going to be very, very brief. I know the previous sessions were brilliant, and I don't really have much to say. Well, Abramec, a company I represent today, intends to extend animal traceability, which is regulated by ISO 11784 or ABNT NBR 14766 to leather by marking, by smart marking. We have seen many tanneries are making several efforts in marking the animals manually, which is a very interesting and successful initiative. However, we have noticed that over 200,000 animals, there won't be enough space for it. So in this particular graph, I'm going to show you. In summary, this is what these norms proposed. So the idea is that these animals are attached to earrings since the day they are born, and then they'll go through a treatment station that will contain the number, a tracking number, and this will be sent to the cloud, will be shared with the cloud, and then when users access the cloud, they will get all information about the animal. So the idea is that when this animal is slaughtered, this tracking number be sent to the leather, which is an issue though. It's got like over 15 digits. The idea is not to text them manually, but use a code, a 2D code, not necessarily a QR code, but it could be bigger, or maybe two codes together. There are many challenges that we have to face to include the marking. This has been proposed before, of course. It has been said many times as well. The marking will not survive the tanning. Over the recent years, is that laser marking can survive the tanning machine. However, there's a lot of distortion in this process, and this made us, in the past, of course, many years ago, but many experience with 2D codes were unsuccessful. Many things have changed. When we implemented this norm in 1996, back then, the computational power on the state-of-the-art of ships was much inferior to the state-of-the-art today. Today, it's commonplace. You can get a smartphone that will pay your bills and scan QR codes. And these are the technologies that enable us to associate the animal number to the skin number, and then consequently solve all these problems. So that includes all the records of the animal, everything they have done, where they went to, or containing information whether or not they have been to indigenous lands. So basically all the history of the animal will be there. Here, in a nutshell, this map here shows, ideally the marking should be done at the slaughterhouse. As Minerva people mentioned, why is it? During slaughtering, the scanner will read the earring and the time the skin was marked in order to avoid losing data. Of course, this is very difficult because it's a very complex stage to use laser marking regularly or a regular scanner on the animal. And another option, which is what has been done in many companies, is like to attach a label after the earring, and then at the tannery the tag will be read, and then a number including 6 or 8 digits will be attached to it. Our proposal is different. The idea is that the tannery will be in charge of marking the animal, and the code will be the tag number itself, or perhaps an identifiable reduction of that tag number. Oh, but there's a problem here. In Brazil, we have over 200 million animals, and 4 million of them have the earring attached. It's going to be a while until we can apply that, until the earring can be applicable to the entire farm. Then we suggested altering the code and on ISO 11784 to include whether or not the code is traceable by ISO 11784. And that will also inform if the ownership traceability will be carried out if the tannery conducted it or any other companies, but using the same code. This is a smooth transition from having nothing marked on them and a totally traceable system in some years, I imagine. Just to simplify things, the idea is to take advantage of data and accreditation of, this is an international norm in place in Uruguay, Australia. It was developed by ISO. It's very powerful. It's accredited by several regulating bodies, and this makes things a lot easier in terms of acceptability of the process, as I'm proposing now. So the solution that is proposed here is part of a very tiny part of a global solution. People who were here before me showed a lot of things. There's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of things in place, but I agree with the guy who was here earlier, Otavio. This is actually going to happen no matter what. The marking will happen. And so there's productivity involved. And so involves vaccines as well, and every single type of control. So we need to get things started to find this general global solution, which is to mark the animal and its leather with something like a serial number, not every single piece of information onto the code that is marked on their skin, like the farm and everything else, because more and more will be required. We never know. Maybe in 2 years, French people will be asking for more and more data. We never know. When we have the animal records, we know everything about him. So this is a future-proof solution. The AgroBrasil Sustentável Mais platform seems to be, I don't know much about it, seems to be exactly what we need to coordinate all these efforts, including the efforts involved in these marking machines, which is what Abramec is willing to collaborate with. You know, their office systems that are made by easier industries like textiles, mechanics, even foods, ultra-processed foods. They will not be adequate to it, not even to slaughterhouse. So there's a different scenario. We have a lot of experience in that area, and not only does it have to work, but we have to accept moist, humidity, corrosive agents, bad use. Now we have to create machines for that purpose. It's important to see that Argentina has launched a program, the FISAC system, and it's very similar to what we have here. So keep all the animals, keep earrings in the animals, connect the data with the governments, and everybody can get access to it through the internet. In summary, what makes us propose this today, this type of more sophisticated marking? Technological advances, of course. You know, in 1996, that was sci-fi. So much so that Brazil proposed it in 1996. That it would be so expensive, so difficult. We wouldn't have access to telecommunications and farms, but a lot has changed. You know, today we have internet satellites, we have GPSs, and they're a lot cheaper, so it's feasible now. However, it's going to be laborious, it's going to require a lot of tests, and we need cooperation from every party involved in the chain. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much. Thank you, André, the founding manager of NBR Tecnologia and advisor at Abramec. Thank you so much for joining us. The CICB Forum of Sustainability is being supported by Gold, IDH, Minerva Leather, and Abramec with BKS, Master, NVN, and Michelin. Silver sponsors are Midori Auto Leather, Sincurti, and Vipose Vancouros. It's being brought to you by Euro America.